Hello guys, I'm Gaming It Today. I'm reacting to Teen Athlete Pressured by the Toxic Coach featuring Socksfor1 by Dhar Mann Studios. As always, links to the channel and the video in the description. And as always, let's begin, shall we?
You bloody idiot! What was that?
It's crazy. Looking back, you realize the way you think your life will go is rarely the direction it does go.
This is how you return a ball. This is what you gotta do. This is what you gotta do to get to the top.
Seemed like Coach Swain's idea of making it to the top was being a crazy weirdo. He was just a mean guy. But my mom always told me,
if you do good, good will always come back to you.
so a bit about me. My name
No. Don't tell me that's a life message because I have a question. Why is it that they keep rehashing the same thing over and over and over and over again? Genuinely, think about the messages that DharMann has been delivering and you'll see that it's the same thing. What comes around, what goes around comes around. If you do good, good will come back to you. It's the same message, just reworded. So like, what's the point? Just say the original. Why do you have to change it up? Unless it needs to be changed up to fit with the narrative, you don't need to change it up. Like, what? Why would you change it up? Okay, maybe, now that I think about it, maybe that's a bit of a nitpick more than anything, but hey. Anyway.
is Nicholas Ulala, a son of immigrants from Europe, Czechoslovakia to be exact. I was originally born in Toronto, Canada.
Vítej na světě, Nikolasi.
But I only lived there for about a year. My dad's work required
Okay, so I guess this is a change for DharMann overall. So he decided that he'll only bring back subtitles when characters are speaking another language other than English. You know what? Sure, why not? Makes sense. And I feel like I don't even need to explain the whole difference because, like, if you were watching so, like, if you were watching so, what's the word for it? If you're so new to DharMann that you don't know that he used to do subtitles, then yeah, you're very new, I'll tell you that. No shame to you, of course, but like, yeah, this is a very new change that changed like almost like what, 6 years or something like that of videos. But anyway.
But I only lived there for about a year. My dad's work required us to move constantly. So before we knew it, we were in the States. Not that I knew what was happening. I was a baby.
I can't wait for 6th grade. Middle school's gonna be awesome. I hope we have all our classes together.
Now that I think about it, how does this kid live here? Okay, no, not live here. How does he live in the U.S.? Because he wasn't born in the U.S., so he isn't a U.S. citizen. If I'm not wrong, like his mom is from like Europe, right? From Czechia, I think. Sorry if I mispronounced it. But like, even if his dad is from America, like for it to be guaranteed citizenship, you had to have been born there. So like, how does this work exactly? You know what? Why am I even asking? I'm not even a base to ask such a thing. Anyway.
Yeah.
It was tough making friends because of all the moving. No point making friends I'd have to say goodbye to shortly after.
Hopefully last time.
By the time I was 18, we moved around 6 times. But eventually, I didn't have to worry so much about saying goodbye to any classmates or almost friends after I switched to homeschooling online. This way, I could focus on tennis and my goal to, wait for it, become a pro tennis player. I know, right? Wild.
That's it, a little better.
Thanks, Mom. It looks great.
And since my dad was always traveling for work, I rarely got to see him. So 90% of the time, it was Mom and me. I was sort of a mama's boy. But just because I was sort of a mama's boy, didn't mean she wasn't hard on me when she needed to be.
Nikolas, ty vieš, aké je pre teba dôležité mať samé jednotky.
I know.
Just like
Yep, we're gonna be doing the classic trope where the parents speak their native language, meanwhile the new kid speaks English. If you've been watching DharMann for a while, you definitely know this trope. If it was new, I wouldn't have pointed it out. Like, wasn't there that one time where a kid was ashamed of being, like, if I'm not wrong, Chinese, if it was ashamed of being Chinese, and, like, his whole family was speaking in Mandarin, meanwhile, he was just decided not to speak Chinese for the sake of it, because he was ashamed of his culture or something. I don't remember if it was Chinese, but it was something along those lines. Now the shame part isn't here, but like the part where the young one is speaking English while the older ones, where more commonly the parents, speak in their native language. That's definitely a trope. I wouldn't call it a cliche though, because why would it be a cliche? Anyway,
Like any other teenager, it was tough not being able to make friends. So I did the next best thing. I watched YouTube videos. Guess you could say it was the next best alternative I had at my disposal. I even learned how to edit videos. But at the end of the day, my life revolved around tennis.
Stop whining and start playing. Go shake his hand. Yeah.
Everything in my life at that point revolved around one goal: becoming a pro tennis player.
Gotta focus up if you're gonna land that
So
scholarship.
my schedule was essentially school. Tennis, sleep, school,
Head nippers.
tennis, sleep. Oh, and more school. More tennis, and sleep.
We are so proud of you, Nick.
You're the 7th ranked tennis player in the state. Perfect 4.0 GPA and studying computer science at the Gardner-Webb this fall.
You earned this, Nicholas.
But what happened
I'm sorry. Did you say GPA? How can he have a GPA if he hasn't been to school in years? Am I missing something? Like, am I genuinely missing something? For you to have a GPA, you had to have been to school, but he hasn't been to school in a very long while, so how would he even have a GPA in the first place? Anyway.
when you've been working your whole life for something, but when you finally get it, you realize you don't even want it?
Let's go.
By the time I got to college, it clicked that tennis wasn't for me, which was crazy, considering I built my entire life around it.
All right, come on.
But looking around at the other guys, they were die-hard, and I just wasn't. Instead of running every day, training constantly, living and breathing tennis like the other guys, I preferred this: YouTube, content creation. I even ended up getting a few gigs editing YouTubers' videos, including Cypher PK, who I was a huge fan of.
Hi, Nick. How is university?
Good, great.
That's a lie.
Denny's going well?
Yeah.
And that's an even bigger lie. But I mean, how was I supposed to tell them that I wanted to quit? So I just lived a double life for a bit. I continued playing tennis, poorly, taking gigs editing videos for YouTubers like Cypher PK and King Richard in my free time, even creating some content myself.
All right, guys. So today we're gonna be starting a brand new hardcore world.
But working on my YouTube channel
Wait. Is this going where I think it's going? I don't know the YouTuber. I don't know if, like, Socksfor1 is a YouTuber, right? Like, I don't know the YouTuber or anything, but, like, if he's a YouTuber, then I think I know where this is going. This is gonna be the origin story of Socksfor1, isn't it? Yep, if any fans of him are watching this, they're probably either gonna tell me that I'm right, or they're gonna discredit me. Or they're gonna criticize me to oblivion. Because I honestly didn't never even heard of him, so yeah. Anyway.
more meant less time for studying.
Yeah, I'm confirming this one.
But working on my YouTube channel more meant
What the? Okay, I'm not gonna try reading that.
less time for studying, which meant my grades started really slipping for the first time in my life, now that my parents weren't around to push me to focus on school and tennis. Not to mention, I was losing match after match.
Yes! Let's go!
Well, what are you watching?
Cypher PK. He's like a YouTuber, uploads gaming videos. It's kind of like what I want to do.
I know, YouTube is a big thing now, but back then, people were like,
You can make money on that? Uploading gaming videos? There's no way. Dude, you have a scholarship to play tennis.
I'm sorry. Back then, when is this even taking place? You clarify when this is taking place, please, because now you're confusing me. When is this supposed to take place? I don't know you. I don't know how old you are. I can't use that as a clue. When is this supposed to be taking place? Because look, if you're doing stuff for BK and he's seen as a popular YouTuber, if you're you editing videos for him, then at the earliest, 2018, 2019, or 2020. 2017 was the very start of Fortnite, which Sever BK is obviously known for, and it's not like he got popular from the start or something. It took him a while, so, like, at the very earliest, 2019 or 2020. But even then, like, wasn't YouTube still moderately known as being the platform where you can earn money? Wasn't that known? Like, 2015 and stuff like that, I don't even know if YouTube had monetization at the time. But, like, yeah, you guys know what I'm getting at, right? Anyway.
Your chances of going pro are way better than the whole YouTube thing.
Hey, Nicholas. You got a sec? I want to have a word with you.
Yeah.
Is something going on? You haven't been playing as well, and your grades are slipping.
Nothing's going on.
Well, you can't be successful if you keep going like this. Do you even want to play?
Here's what I hate, and I honestly think that this is a cliche, where every time a main character says, "Oh yeah, I started focusing on my YouTube. Oh yeah, I started focusing on my TikTok." I better make sure I don't move the mic. Oh yeah, I started focusing on my Instagram. Whenever they say that, it's always my grades started slipping. Every single time. Maybe not every single time, but anytime this is mentioned, I kind of hate it because it offers a bad stereotype of anyone who focuses on YouTube or TikTok or whatever will end up with their grades slipping to oblivion. So, what's the point? Like, why do you give YouTubers such a bad name? A YouTuber can easily balance life and it can easily balance work and YouTube. Look at literally any YouTuber who has a professional background. Like, for example, let's use popular ones. Law by Mike is a professional lawyer. Dr. Mike is a professional lawyer. Legal Eagle, professional lawyer, why did I say that? Dr. Mike is a professional doctor. Legal Eagle is a professional lawyer, etc., etc. These three are actual professionals in their field, and yet they also balanced it with the YouTube, you know? Like people have done it. It's not a new concept or anything. So why do people always act as if you either focus fully on school or fully on YouTube with nowhere in between? Like, genuinely, why?
I didn't want to play, and I knew that. Not to mention, I was making decent hustle money doing something I actually enjoyed. I knew what I wanted. There was only one thing left to do.
Ano, czekaj, tato, nitka możecie dowalić.
To nezaujíma. Radšej tě mám na blízku. Až teraz. Ty jsi stále někde na cestách kvůli práci.
Powiedz mu to.
Ahoj, Niky. Je všetko v poriadku?
Yeah. I decided I don't want to play tennis anymore. And I don't want to go to school for computer science.
Čo?
Again, the same thing. Not only do we have that stereotype, but you also have the other stereotype of YouTubers, of people quitting college for the sake of YouTube. And yes, while it's been done before with the biggest person who's done it being Mr. Beast, not everyone succeeds. Again, if you think that people who quit college for YouTube generally succeed all the time, then you're in a case of survivorship bias, where you only know. Okay, I don't know if that's survivorship bias specifically, or if it's another thing, but like, you only hear of the people who won, not of the people who lost, not of the people who failed. For example, let's say, for example, someone was selling drugs in school and they're telling you, oh yeah, I've never been caught. You're like, oh, this guy, maybe others have been selling drugs and they were doing well. Maybe I'll get on it as well. But then you get caught. Because guess what? It's not a situation of every drug dealer manages to get away with it. You only know about the people who did get away with it. You don't know about the people who got caught. Isn't that basically survivorship bias? Like, I don't want to confuse it with another thing. I don't know if it's the same thing or if it's a different thing. Maybe I'll look it up later, but I know it's something similar to survivorship bias, where you only acknowledge the people who succeeded in something, but not the people who failed. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, many YouTubers have quit college for the sake of YouTube and have succeeded. But compared to that, how many have done that and failed? Probably hundreds, if not thousands of people. Because again, you never know because you never hear their story because they never got popular, you know? And like, again, the thing about YouTube is that it is unstable. Unless you have a very loyal fan base, or you make very, very special content or / unique content that only you can make, you're not gonna stay relevant for long. Like, I can see a reason why Mr. Beast, for example, will stay relevant for years and years. It's because he's the only one who can do crazy challenges where you can earn hundreds of thousands of dollars. He's basically the only one who can pull off such a thing. But imagine if there were multiple people who did the same thing as him. Eventually, he'll be forgotten because what's unique about him? Not much. Not much. Like, yeah, he has his commentary, but the main appeal is the challenges. But since he's the only one doing it, he's unique. If you're into that type of thing, you immediately go to him. There's no one else. I'm not saying that uniqueness is the only thing. Your videos also have to be entertaining as well. It's not just being in that niche. But like, at the same time, uniqueness definitely helps. If you're the only one in the field doing specific thing, like Mr. Beast doing challenges for hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's very easy to stay in the public eye compared to many others who, because they do similar content to other people, they're not that unique, and because of that, they end up getting forgotten. I'm not saying that you have to be super unique to not be forgotten. What I'm saying is that you being unique definitely helps you. And again, YouTube doesn't last for long, so why not just get a degree in computer science, because you can at least sustain yourself with a stable job where you know how much you're gonna earn. Because another point that most people don't know about YouTube is that YouTube and TikTok and the others in general are unstable. Like, do you guys really know why YouTubers take sponsorships? And no, it's not simply because they want extra money. Like, yeah, some are like that, and I probably would be like that as well if my channel succeeds eventually. But like, for most YouTubers, they have teams who have to earn money. So, why would they want to rely on YouTube, for example, when YouTube is inconsistent with the amount of money you have to earn? Because the amount of money you earn on YouTube depends on so many factors to the point that nobody can predict how much you're gonna earn. Like, legitimately, look it up. There are so many factors that any YouTube generator that tells you, oh yeah, you're gonna earn this amount of money by getting this many views, they're wrong because they assume stuff that may not be true. Like, for example, do you guys know why so many YouTube channels target the US and the UK and other countries like that? It's because you get more money per 1,000 views from those types of viewers compared to, let's say, viewers from Africa, viewers from Asia, etc. Why? Because the US dollar is considered more valuable compared to the other currencies, and because, let's be honest, people in the US consume a lot more compared to, let's say, people in Europe or other countries. But anyways...
Ako to myslíš? Veď na tom robíš od detstva.
My heart's just not in it anymore.
What are you going to do instead?
I want to be a YouTuber. And before you say that it's a bad idea or that there's no money in it, I already made some money. And I'm gonna go for it either way. Even if that means getting my own place.
Nicholas! Okay. It's okay.
My parents and I agreed that I would take a gap year. And if I made it during that time, I wouldn't go back to college. It was hard to explain to a lot of people because they thought,
Dude, you're insane. You're taking a gap year for this?
but I was so ready to prove myself.
Again, YouTube money, inconsistent. Is this something that many people forget? Like, yeah, the upsides of YouTube is that if you get really popular, you can earn a lot more than a normal job gives you, but that also comes at a risk, which is, again, YouTube and every other social media, by their nature, are inconsistent. There's no way, the probability is almost zero for you to earn the same amount of money in 2 months. Like, let's say earn 5K in 1 month and 5K in another month. That's pretty much impossible because, again, like I said, the amount of money you get depends on so many factors. I'll give you some of them. Views, watch time, where are your viewers watching from? Do they have YouTube Premium or not? Because that changes up how much you earn, etc., etc. It's not as simple as you get 1,000 views, you get a couple of dollars. It ain't as simple as that. Like, yeah, while there is a flat rate, you have to ask where did that rate come from? Because especially for longer videos, like, for example, a person from poorer countries where the US dollar is considered more valuable might have their subscriptions be cheaper. So let's say a YouTube Premium subscriber in I want to think of a country real quick. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but let's say Nigeria. I'm gonna be completely wrong probably. So if you're from Nigeria, please correct me if you want to, but I'm not trying to be accurate here. I'm just presenting an example. Let's say a YouTube Premium subscription in Nigeria is around a couple of dollars, $3-4. That obviously isn't as expensive as $18 per month in the US. Now, obviously, the main reason why Nigeria would be cheaper is because, currency and stuff like that. Again, I don't know about Nigeria's situation at all, so correct me if you want to, but again, I'm not trying to be accurate. So, if a person from Nigeria if 1,000 people from Nigeria were to watch a video, they would earn the YouTuber a lot less than if 1,000 US viewers watch the video, because if both thousand users from both countries are paying for premium, the YouTuber when the YouTuber gets the same chunk from both, he's gonna get a lot more from the YouTube Premium subscribers in the US because they simply paid a lot more. You see where I'm getting at? Obviously, ads I can't go into because it depends on how much the companies are willing to pay, and obviously because the US dollar is more valuable, an ad company in a country where the US dollar is less, where their currency is less valuable, will probably pay less compared to the US countries. Therefore, you get less, so on and so forth. I don't want to make this way too convoluted, and I probably already did. Anyway.
Nicholas! My son is home!
And I was finally relieved to get it off my chest. But little did I know that my mom had something to get off her chest, too.
Oh.
Mom, are you feeling all right? It looks like you lost a little bit of weight.
No. No, I'm fine. I'm so happy you're home.
Mom, can you please tell me what's going on? Why didn't you tell me?
There was no reason to worry you. While you were in school.
So you've had cancer the entire time I was at Gardner Webb? What stage?
I'm telling you, it's gonna be stage 4 or something, and he's gonna lose her.
Stage 3.
Okay, not as bad as 4, but hey, still bad.
Ty v poriadku, dobre? Neprišiel si domů, by si strácal čas starosťami o mňa. Poď robiť na svojom YouTube.
Okay, do I call for it being clickbait already or what? Because, like, she tells him work on your YouTube, do all that stuff, so he quit tennis. So where is the teen athlete pressured by toxic coach part? I don't care if they showed his coach being toxic. This has to be center stage. Again, I criticize these types of videos to oblivion where, oh yeah, they have the title be something that is technically true, but isn't that part of the story, and heck. But isn't that big part of the story, but and even then, like, the toxic coach technically didn't pressure him into doing anything. Like, he was just, I guess, criticizing him and insulting him for being bad, but like, Anyway. What the? Yep, I pressed the 0 button by accident and now okay, good.
Nikolas, ja nechcem, aby si sa ku mňa správal inak. Chcem, aby sme boli takí, akí sme boli vždy. Ty si ideš za svojimi snami? Zatiaľ, čo ja budem podporovať. Vždycky.
The next few months were the hardest of all. Not only did I have to prove that I could make a career out of this, but my dad and my mom were always fighting.
What's up, guys? So today we're gonna be...
Because one, they just allowed their son to leave college and abandoned his scholarship.
Čo mám robiť? O čo ti ide?
Ako to môže povedať kolega? Ono sú viacerný svát. I hovoriť. Zlé práce, kalotit.
And two, because of my mom's condition, the bills from medical expenses were piling up. My dad did everything he could for my mom, taking her to various doctors, but all it did was make him mad when they gave the same diagnosis. Same suggested treatments.
There is a study that I can get you into, but it doesn't look promising.
These are some of
And the same answers every single time.
It may or may not work. The prognosis, it's stage 3.
We'll beat this. I promise.
All the money I was making during this period was to support my family. Yet, through everything, my mom was still the one supporting me. She always made it seem like nothing was wrong.
Musíš si pamätať, že musíš niečo zjesť a vypiť.
Mommy really didn't have to.
Nič také. Pamätáš si?
Look, I'm gonna be blunt with you. Even though I'm trying to pursue being a YouTuber as well, and it's very clear that I'm doing that, I would never ever say I will abandon college or school for the sake of YouTube. Like, yeah, maybe it's not my place since obviously reaction content doesn't take as long as actually editing videos, but even then, no matter what you want to do on YouTube, you don't want to dedicate all of your time to it. You don't want to have one income source. Like, do you know what is the first literal advice that any millionaire will give you? Have multiple income sources. Don't depend on one. And the worst part is that depending on a normal job is a lot better than depending on YouTube. Or like I guess the better way would be saying depending on YouTube is far worse than depending on a normal job, because with a normal job you always know how much you're gonna get paid. Like, yeah, you're probably gonna be forced to working overtime and stuff like that, but in the end you know how much you're getting per month, so you can budget yourself around it. And you at least have some sort of job security. Meanwhile, on YouTube and on TikTok and the others, not only is the pay inconsistent, you can earn $5,000 one month, $2,000 the next, stuff like that, but also, how do I say this? Oh yeah, you can easily get forgotten. Like, think about it. Think about who you've been watching on YouTube and TikTok over the years, and think to yourself, how many YouTubers have simply not shown up anymore? How many have been forgotten? Like, yeah, there are YouTubers that have been here for years and are still relevant, but there are just as many who were relevant once and then just got forgotten. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I would never ever recommend for someone to say, I'm gonna do YouTube full time. Because what are you gonna do if you get forgotten or you get canceled or whatever happens that won't allow you to do YouTube or the others anymore? What will you do by then? You have no job, no college degree, no nothing. That's why I personally will never say that I'm abandoning college slash school or whatever for the sake of YouTube. I would never do that. Because I know that there would be a fatal mistake because I'm basically depending on YouTube either giving me enough money to live off for the rest of my life throughout my career, or I depend on my career running off for literal tens of years, which is it really a gamble I want to do because even the YouTubers who have been relevant for years at most have been for 10, and YouTube in general has only been here for like 20 years. So a person in their 20s, depending on making videos on it till their 30s and 40s, is kind of, not the best risk. But anyways.
Ukaż mi swoich videí.
Okay, like, yeah.
Hit her brain. The worst was, when the cancer hit her brain, she couldn't talk anymore. She could understand me, but she couldn't respond. But I could tell that she was so proud of me.
I hit 250,000 subscribers on YouTube today.
How long has it been? Okay.
I know you were looking forward.
Oh yeah, I might as well say this because this just occurred to me now. Remember when I said that, remember YouTubers who you used to watch in the past but are now forgotten? I'm gonna bring up one specific YouTuber that you guys probably watched in the pandemic, when the pandemic happened, who got millions of subscribers, and yet he's forgotten today. Do you want to have a guess on who I'm talking about? Beluga. Remember him? The YouTuber who posted funny Discord videos who eventually got forgotten? Like, he's the biggest example of what I'm talking about because he's kind of the most well known at that. Because the others, either you just don't watch anymore or they simply got canceled or something. Beluga went from having millions of views and literally 10 million subscribers and being the fastest to do so, to being forgotten. When was the last time you watched a Beluga video? I wouldn't be surprised if you told me 2 to 3 years. I would not be surprised. This guy got forgotten. Simple as that. You see what I mean? Just because you're successful doesn't mean it doesn't guarantee that you're gonna stay. Beluga was one of the fastest growing YouTubers of his time, of the years where he was relevant, and yet he's forgotten today. Ask any kid who Beluga is, and they probably wouldn't be able to tell you because they weren't around when he was popular. And heck, if you ask a person who was around, they'd probably be like, "Oh yeah, that guy who used to make funny Discord videos." Remember, used to, because he is forgotten now. And it's not a situation of he stopped uploading. He isn't popular anymore because people tend to underestimate how much the algorithm controls you. There are people who have been trying for months to get on YouTube and make quality content, yet the algorithm ignores them. The algorithm is everything. There's a reason why YouTubers tend to hide words like kill and the R word. Like, yeah, I'm not monetized, but I'm not risking YouTube, okay? I don't want to learn to try YouTube, but like being taken forcefully, SA, stuff like that. Do you want to know why you always hear the baby talk? It's because of the fact that YouTubers want to make sure that they have the high chances with the algorithm. It's always please the algorithm, not the people. Because even if there will always be people who watch your content as long as it's good enough. But will the algorithm recommend it to them? Tell me that one. That's why YouTubers always say algorithm. It's because the algorithm is what decides what you watch. Because look, let's ask the question. Unless you're looking for a guide for a game or something, when was the last time you found a YouTuber by going to search? When was the last time? Probably a long time ago. Like, yeah, back. I don't want to say back in the day, but like back a few years ago, people used to find other people by searching. But nowadays, most people, including me, I'm not gonna act as if I'm an exception, find most YouTubers via the YouTube homepage, which is dictated by the algorithm. And let's be honest, when was the last time you guys went to the subscription button thing? When was the last time you get? No, I'm not talking about the subscribe button. I'm talking about the button that includes all of your subscriptions. When was the last time you pressed on that one? I myself haven't pressed on it in years, unless you include the accidental presses and stuff like that. But anyways,
To an update. So. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
yeah, I'm done. Look, I honestly thought that this would be one of the first in a while where I didn't have to skip, but I feel like the story is kind of like having moments that overstay their welcome. Like, I know that it's supposed to be emotion and all that, but no, it's not my attention span. I'm not gonna act as if my attention span didn't get low, just like everyone else, but it's not my attention span. The main reason why I'm skipping is because of the fact that I'm now watching alone. I'm now watching alone where I can take my time. I'm watching with you guys. You guys are watching me and expecting a reaction video. So in that case, why would I waste your time by watching all of this? That's why I nowadays, unlike my early days, have stopped watching videos in full. Because if you guys watch my earlier videos, you'll know that I used to watch videos in full. And that's why some of my videos reached over an hour. But nowadays, I just stopped doing that because I was like, why do I need to do this? They don't matter in the grand scheme of things. And when it comes to this video, I feel like these moments are overstaying their welcome. Again, I might want to sit them out. Yep, she died, didn't she? Wait.
You know, you wish you could do something. I can't even describe this feeling. It's almost like you're right there, you know? You wish you could do something, but there's...
Mom! Mom! Mom!
I mean, there's literally nothing you can do.
Okay, anyways, continue. Yeah, she died. Yeah.
Corner. Whether I am today if it wasn't for my mom. She was always in my corner.
Look, there's a motto that we follow here on this channel, and I don't know if I would put it in the about section or not, but it's, you know that saying, it's not about the journey, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey? Well, guess what? In this channel, on this channel, it's the opposite. It's about the destination, not the journey. It doesn't matter to me what montages or anything like that if I don't need them to understand the story as a whole. If I don't need them to I don't need them to understand the story in hindsight as a whole. Because look at stories that you've watched and tell me. Did every event need to occur? Did you need to watch every event? Did every event matter in the grand scheme of things? Yeah, for some stories, yeah, definitely. But for others, it just doesn't. I'm gonna give you guys an example I know personally, because I played the game. So, spoilers for Mortal Kombat 11. So, for that game, basically, if you guys don't know the story of Mortal Kombat, there's a woman named Kronika who's the keeper of all time, and she wants to erase history and redo a new history and stuff like that. I wanted to speedrun it real quick. Basically, she wants to erase all time and redo it all over again. So the characters fight her and all that. You might be asking me, well, what does that have to do with this? Well, quite simple. Yeah, the characters fight each other and all that, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter what happened to them. Do you want to know why? This is a big spoiler. Everyone in Mortal Kombat 11 died. Everyone except Liu Kang, who turned into Fire God Liu Kang and became the Keeper of Time, who shut the Mortal Kombat 1. So in hindsight, barely any of what we've seen mattered because everyone died either way. Yeah, it's a part of the journey, but did it matter to reach a destination? Not really. It's not like you need to understand it's not like you need to understand this part of the journey to understand the destination. That's what I'm saying. Not every part of the story is needed to understand to get to the destination without being confused. That's why I skip montages and stuff like that, is because I don't need these montages to understand what's going on. They're a part of the journey, but they're not needed for the destination. And if I'm watching with you guys, my job is to give you commentary and save your time. After all, DharMann's videos are already, I won't say really long, but they're long enough that if I were to watch these videos in full, I would go back to the olden era where it wasn't that uncommon for me to have 1 hour videos. So like I like it a lot more when I get to save your guys' time, you know? But anyway.
You do good things, good will come back to you, so I'm not too worried.
If you do good, good will come back to you. Still believe in that? Good luck, lad.
The thing about grief is nobody really teaches you how to, you know, process it. So I kind of didn't process it. Instead, I distracted myself with work and cut off communications with everyone and isolated myself in my own apartment. I ended up gaining 40 pounds and my mental health was declining. I was putting all my energy into the channel, but I wasn't taking care of myself.
Can we just skip to the end, please? Nicholas, okay.
It's fuck you and your mom.
Rack. Ended up, so help me get better. Life.
On those down
I
days.
reached out to streamers and paid them to review my work. They tore it up. But hey, at least it helped me get better.
Yeah. So this guy is basically Socksfor1, huh? Yep. Okay, so this is a good one, and let's do this. Boom. First of all, my first complaint, I might as well do this again before I completely remove the UI so that, you know, it looks better. I remove the HUD. This thing is clickbait. This is clickbait, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Like, usually I'm up for debate, but this one is clickbait. Why? Because first of all, when did the toxic coach ever pressure him? He never did, really, if you think about it. He never did. And also, the coach wasn't a main part of the story. I hate these types of things with a passion. I hate these types of titles with a passion. Why? Quite simple. It's because they're clickbait. Because remember, for a title to not be clickbait, at least in my eyes, two things have to be fulfilled. What was put in the title actually happens in the story, and this is a big one. This is the one that disqualifies many of Dhar Mann's videos. It has to be a big part of the story. I don't care if what's in the title technically happened. If it happened in so early on, so that's insignificant. If it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of the story, then I don't count it. Simple as that. I don't care if what's said in the title technically happened. It needs to be the main part of the story because I clicked on your video for the title. So it is within my full right to assume that your title is what the story is gonna be about. I'm gonna bring up this example until I forget about it, but basically there was a video about a girl buying clothes from Temu, where she technically did that at the beginning and she was mocked for it. But in the rest of the video, that pretty much was barely ever mentioned again. So tell me, from the description I gave you, which is of course a very oversimplification, but basically I'm giving you the details that matter, would you count that video as clickbait? I myself would say yes, and I said the same thing back on that video. Check it out if you want to. It's obviously on the channel. Like, check it out. I'm telling you, that video was clickbait, and I can probably convince you to do so. I can probably convince you, because generally, tell me, when you see a title, you expect the title to describe the whole video. Similar to how, whenever you see a story on YouTube, you expect the title of the story to be the main thing. After all, it's supposed to be the hook that gets you. So shouldn't the hook at least be real? Shouldn't the hook at least be true? And like, let's be honest. Anime, especially isekai, is basically the whole concept. After all, as isekai especially is infamous for basically having its description being the title. So imagine if it describes to you an event, isekai describes to you an event as the title, but then you watch the isekai and you find out that the thing it's talking about was only a small part of the story and not the overall story. Would you feel like you got tricked? I myself would feel tricked. Like, unless that isekai was exceptionally good, I would feel like I was tricked because I thought I was getting into a story and then I found that it was a different story. You see what I mean? These are my two main critiques to know if a video is clickbait or not. Did what was said in the video actually happen? And is it the overall story, or at least a big part of the overall story, or not? If one of the two isn't true, then it's clickbait. Simple as that. And this title Wait, let me show it again. And this title, very obviously, that's both. It didn't happen, and even if it did happen, it wasn't a big part of the story. This doesn't satisfy either of the two requirements. But anyways, back to the video overall. My main complaint: this video drags on. Even though it's 20 minutes, which isn't the longest for a Dhar Mann video, the longest is like 30 minutes or 35 minutes, as much as I've seen. Like, it still feels like it's went on for way too long. That's the reason I skipped. Like, I thought this was gonna be the first video in a while where I didn't skip a beat. But this time I did because of the fact that it just simply felt like it went on for way too long. My guy, get to the point. Again, maybe it's because I'm in the commentary mode. I'm in the mode where I want to get things done quickly without having my time being wasted and your time being wasted. But I don't feel like I would even enjoy this on my own while watching it unless I'm doing something unless it's something in the background while I'm doing something else, because this genuinely feels like it drags on for way too long than it should. Like, genuinely, like, whenever I skip stuff, it's either because it's a montage where I would both probably get copyright claimed and I would be wasting your guys' time. And when it comes to normal parts, I just skip what I think is unnecessary. And the reason why I thought this was unnecessary is because of the fact that, first of all, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, and it's dragged on for way too long. You can't tell me with a straight face that the whole YouTube thing and stuff like that went on for way too long. You can't tell me that it didn't go on for way too long. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. On the left is a more recent video, and the YouTube recommends, as well as the channel and the video description. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.